Uh, all right, welcome to the XR AI pub crawl, everyone. It's happy Friday. So excited to be here. I was mentioning we've got Sawhorse Productions here to talk about their Roblox experience, Roadblocks. And I'm going to share my screen. Let me get through some announcements right out of the gate, and then we're going to turn it over and let Nick share all about what they've been up to. So I will share my screen. And as I do that, let me also put our links, our show note links here in chat for everybody. So we've got the link to the experience that we're going to be visiting here, along with all of the juicy news gossip that I'm going to be talking about today. So let me get rid of that. And here we go. All right, welcome, welcome. I feel like we got some new folks. So announcement and news, vendor spotlight, and then we're going to go experience the brand's experience in Roblox. And then we've got an after party. If you're new to the XR Pub Crawl, we always take the last few minutes to do a round robin. You can introduce yourself and let everyone know kind of how you're involved with XR and AI. So chat question. I've been working a lot with AI search. I just actually had a great conversation earlier about AI and how it's impacting search. So what is your favorite AI search tool? Throw it in chat. I'd love to hear. We're going to talk about that in a little bit in my announcements section. So Nathan, I would love for you to monitor chat, get that chat going. And then I like to aggregate all the tools that you list and share it out later. So don't put in as many tools as you want. We've got a few announcements, and I want to turn it over. So Mike Premi, who is one of our pub crawl regulars, wanted to make an announcement. So Mike, you're on. You got 5 minutes. I would love for you to give your update.
Oh, wow, that's so awesome. Okay, so I'm going to put something on the chat so that people who want to check back can see what this company is all about. But what I do, um, just pro bono, is I advise XR startups and help them achieve some sort of success. And I want to actually open it up to Nathan if he has a moment because he has an agency that's similar. So I'm very interested in sharing. Um, but the company's name is True Healer. So you can see the link in the chat, truehealer.ai. And you're going to get to a landing page that doesn't say much. They're in stealth mode, but I'll describe them further. So what they did is they built an AR app. And currently their target platform is the Quest 3, 3S, and Pro. And their differentiator is that they use metahumans, right? So you may or may not have seen the metahuman for Unreal Engine, but when you are in uh, an app that uses metahumans, you get a sense of presence because they are really lifelike and realistic, which is great for what they're doing, which is a healthcare provider education application. So, if you're interested further, he gave me permission to share with this audience their pitch deck, right? So they're seeking funding. In fact, I think they're on the last and final for a major grant.
Love it.
So, yeah, so let me describe some of the scenarios because we've got three and they're working on a fourth. So the scenarios where you talk to a metahuman, some scenarios that need to be practiced are back pain, right? A lot of people come in complaining of back pain, and actually they're drug addicts and they want another prescription. And so there's some really good techniques. And when they talk to a metahuman, it's not just a lifelike avatar, it's AI powered. So it's conversational AI, and you actually talk to a person who emotes, who shows you symptoms that they might be presenting, and it's really realistic. The other one is geriatric wellness. So a lot of older folks, they have certain healthcare needs that you need a sensitive eye to understand what's going on. Is it mental? Is it physical? Is it both? Memory, et cetera. And then I think a very thoughtful application. So there's this safe protocol when you're a nurse or someone in a professional environment intaking someone who is a survivor of sexual assault. It's a very difficult conversation, but you actually have to engage your patient, and they need to give you permission to carry on with what comes next in the healthcare environment. There's a fourth one. I actually talked to a founder of Happy Mama, which is a doula company, and prenatal care is very important. And this kind of training, especially with conversational AI, where some of the AI trained databases can actually be locally stored. So even if you're in a country without great connectivity, you can have AI generated training. So I love this company just because of what they're trying to do. And I have an origin story that I think is really cool. This application, was founded by someone who was at a XR um, agency, right? They built all sorts of XR apps. And Maine Health was a customer asking for something special. They said, hey, we don't have any trans patients that, are available for, the clinician training. So can you mock up in these healthcare apps? Because there are other healthcare training apps like this. They're generally made with Unity though. So they said, hey, can you do something that's, that you can familiarize yourself and get people comfortable, engaging with trans patients. And so everybody who was a current supplier of Maine Health kind of, bid $500,000 for custom avatar development. And he just pulled out during the meeting, he pulled out his MetaHuman data kit, came up with a patient. That's actually the patient you see on the landing page of TrueHealer.ai, right? So anyway, I just thought that was really innovative. The founder is exactly that kind of guy who can think on his feet and, write a few lines of code and give a demo. So anyway,
Awesome.
um, yeah,
Awesome, Mike. Thank
one
you so
quick thing
much for
though.
sharing. Yeah, yeah.
One quick thing. He told me a problem statement, and for anybody who has any insights, please take it offline with me. He said the developer support for Unreal on Meta is poor. They keep
Mm.
claiming that it supports Unreal as a toolkit and it's integrated into the Meta runtime. It is not the case. It is like very buggy. So that is the technical thing. I can't solve that problem, but I'm on the hunt for experts who might contribute or have some advice. Thank you.
Well, awesome, Mike. Thank you for sharing that. You're always bringing in kind of innovative use cases of this technology, and I think there's no doubt that this concept of AI-driven companions, avatars, metahumans, whatever you want to call them, is impacting everything. It's
Right.
marketers are using it for other many use cases. So
Mhm.
always cool to hear, and we can always circle back to this later as we kind of get through some of these other announcements. So Nathan, take it away. We've got some fun events coming up.
All right. The reason why Mike and I are so excited is that we both have this overlapping excitement of XR and healthcare. And I'm going next week with these AI transcription glasses and my
Woohoo!
podcast studio
Oh
to
my
the
gosh.
second largest health IT conference in Las Vegas because health technology and the healthcare industry represents 1/3 of the American GDP. And if you're looking for a place to go make money with technologies and cutting edge, healthcare is a great place to start. And half of the conference is all talking about AI. I'm suspecting a lot of it's going to be boring health record analysis and just
Yeah.
have optimize your workflows. But I'm
Yes.
looking for the interesting conversations there.
Awesome.
So stay tuned for lots of XR in healthcare stuff from me next week. Augmented World Expo is going back to Vienna, Austria, the week following. Some amazing content and just fantastic community for the XR folks in Europe, in Vienna. If you are able, please check it out. As well as Web Summit is one of the largest gathering of digital marketers in Europe. It's
Mm.
an outrageous size. It's almost like a Salesforce-sized event that happens yearly in Lisbon. And I know that there's some interesting XR announcements around virtual worlds and tools available to marketers that will be announced there. And then everybody's favorite January trip to Boston is the MIT Reality Hack, where everyday people can hack alongside of some of the biggest and brightest minds in XR and some of the coolest technologies, often some of the first looks at new headsets, platforms, and otherwise to build out the use cases of tomorrow. So
Awesome.
stuff coming
Who
up
needs
in the
an
next quarter.
excuse to go to Lisbon? Not me. Like get me on a plane to Lisbon immediately. That sounds
Mm.
amazing. It's an
Lisbon
easy
in
sell.
October is very pleasant.
Wow, that's top of my list. Anyway, thank you for sharing those events. Love it, love it. So I've got a few things, y'all. I'm gonna race through. Just quickly, the report, the full report here that I'm talking about is linked in chat, so you can go. There's a lot of additional details. Just proving again, 92% of marketers are using Gen AI today, most of which a lot are using it daily. We are the quickest industry, the quickest sector to adopt Gen AI. We just keep seeing that over and over again. We're all new in the game. This slide is telling us many of us have been using this tool less than 6 months, definitely less than 12 months. So guess what? We're all learning together. How we're using these tools, generating content ideas, 70% by far kind of like the main thing that folks are using is the tools for, and also creating first drafts of content. Again, I think this is just so fascinating to see how we're using these tools. 89% written content, many less of us are feeling comfortable using visuals yet, which I think is fascinating. I use it for like all my visuals. So, but I also don't work for a risk averse company. So there's that. The most commonly used platforms today, ChatGPT, that's no surprise. And then there are a few others. I was surprised to see that the other bucket was above Claude. Claude, as you all know, is one of my favorites. So just some really interesting information here as we start trying to wrap our arms around and get comfortable with Gen AI. This is a report. The reason I'm bringing this in is, there's this huge issue of copyright and ownership and who owns the content. I know it really impacts marketers particularly. And this report, this one that Variety put it out, and it's fascinating for a couple of reasons. Number one, it lists the ongoing lawsuits that are currently underway with these large language models being sued by places like the New York Times for basically for using their content, training their models without permission. But the other fascinating thing is there's all these content deals that are happening. And the reason I think this is so interesting is because it gives us a vision, kind of gives us, I think, a kind of into the future of where things are going. You see, OpenAI paid Condé Nast to have access to all of its content, and it just gives us a peek into the training data that these large language models are using, which I think is so fascinating. And anyway, so the report lists all of these, and if this is something that is particularly interesting to you or a client, definitely get the report and read the entire thing. Search GPT is coming soon. It's going to be a huge game changer. So great article on why I feel, or why the author also feels it's going to be a game changer. I think it's going to upend Google. I was saying I don't use Google anymore. I feel bad for Google kind of, but not really. Anybody using ChatGPT Canvas? It's such an amazing tool. If you're using ChatGPT to write, then try Canvas. And all you need to do, if you have a pro version of ChatGPT, you can see over here. You just go in, click on to use ChatGPT for Omni with Canvas, and it gives you an amazing interface, editing interface. It's like a whole new version of ChatGPT for writing. It's great. It's wonderful. So try it out. I highly recommend it. I do think it's a game changer. Perplexity, one of my favorite, and I think it probably is my very favorite tool of the day, and even beyond my very favorite AI search tool, has introduced a couple of new features that are really important. One is this introduction of a knowledge base and knowledge search. So what this it does, basically, it allows this tool to now be use RAG, retrieval augmented generation, meaning that I can now upload my own document library to Perplexity, and it will then use that along with its own information to come up with answers for me. This is a very, very cool development. They've also introduced these spaces, these collaborative spaces where you can take your searches and your threads and your pages and build it into one cohesive landing experience, and you can share that with the public, share that with whomever you want. So one pro tip here, if you want to ensure that the data that you put in your knowledge library on Perplexity isn't being used to train their model, then you just have to make sure that this setting is toggled off in your settings. Yeah. So it does provide a slim layer of data security. That being said, I would not upload any information that had private anything. I'd clean it first, but it does offer a slim layer of protection there. Nathan, you want to hop in?
Oh yeah. So I heard an ad for Perplexity on a podcast this weekend, specifically advertising that they turn data retention off by default. And
Ah.
part of their advertising, it very obviously seemed to be speaking to this pain that I've heard you talking about here,
Hmm.
as a differentiator. Like, hey,
We're
but
default. Yes.
especially if
Awesome.
you're on the free versions, right?
Hmm.
Freemium means somebody's paying and it's usually your data.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Love that. That's exactly right. Exactly right. Cool. Well, I love that it's off by default. That's probably the way it should be, and hopefully more companies will follow suit. Okay, that was it. That's it for my announcements, everybody. I sped through. Let me go ahead. I'm going to stop sharing. And I'm going to turn it over to our very special guest, Nick Hill from Sawhorse. Nick, take it away and talk to us about the future of marketing. I can't wait to hear.
Awesome. Lisa, thanks for having me on. Great to meet all of you, see all of you. Thanks for engaging with Sawhorse. We're excited to be here. I've got a deck that sort of talks about Sawhorse, our background, and also our take on the marketing space as it pertains to the metaverse and interactive platforms. So I'll jump into that, and then we can, if there's time, we'll do some questions. But after that, we're going to take you guys into one of the experiences we built on Roblox, the brand office, which is essentially is for marketers and brands to go in and learn about how the Roblox platform functions and how you can actually market there. So let me share my screen. Can you all see that?
Yes.
Awesome. So this is the Sawhorse take on the future of marketing. We'll start with who am I? My name is Nick Hill. I'm co-founder of Sawhorse and head of the interactive department. I also sit on the leadership board at the Ad Council. I started my career as a filmmaker. I founded Sawhorse Productions. We created a lot of branded content, a lot of video work for brands, agencies, and studios. And my main focus there was post-production. So I was the head of post and ran all that of the editing, motion graphics, animation, all that stuff. And during the pandemic, I sort of expanded into interactive projects. So still working with those same brands and clients, but now telling their stories in a more interactive way as opposed to just video. And I'm a family man. I'm a passionate geek. I live in LA with my wife and two adorable children. Background on myself, I'm a 1980s Nintendo kid. I grew up as a gamer, really into hip hop culture. I did a lot of breakdancing, graffiti art, and DJing while I was growing up. So what does Sawhorse do? We help AAA brands win the next generation, and we tell brand stories. And you can see a lot of these large brands that we've worked with. It's just been a passion of ours to help them get their message out. And when I say tell brand stories, we do this in two ways. Tons of branded content, more in the video side is what we've done for a very long time on the left. And then as you can see on the right, this is more of the 3D immersive worlds we're building on platforms like Rec Room and Roblox and Fortnite and the like. So let's talk about the future of marketing. Traditional marketing can suck. It's intrusive, it's non-interactive, and often does not add value to users. And it's not great, but we can change that. Let's start by looking at tomorrow's audience. Who are they? You're talking about Gen Z and Gen A. And the things that they know are social media and interactivity. They grew up in a world where they have access to this stuff and they consume it. It's their main primary thing that they like to interact with. Gaming, augmented reality, virtual reality. And they are all gamers. If you look at these stats, it's insane. It's 85% of US teens say that they play video games. And then on a global scale, something like 40% of the world's population identifies as gamers in some way. So they are the young audience of today. They will age up and become the consumer base of tomorrow. So how do you market to them? The oldest, rule in the book is meet them where they are. So that's what we are doing. They aren't here, TV, radio, theaters, and print. They're here, social media and gaming. And we're seeing a really interesting trend of how much time they're spending and where they're spending it. If you look at this chart, it's on average time spent per day. They're spending 150 minutes on Roblox and less time on all the social apps. And you'll notice that TV and cinema and radio are not even on here because they're so minuscule. So let's look at game marketing from the past. Marketing inside video games is not new. It's been around for a long time. Even the very first games that came out in the late 70s, brands have always found a way to get inside. But what's new or different now? Well, now we have the metaverse, right? But what is the metaverse? It's not this. We can really, Mark Zuckerberg launched, when he rebranded his company to Meta, came out with Horizon Worlds. It did not move the needle in the way that everyone thought and kind of destroyed the term for us. So this is actually the vision of the metaverse. Came about in the 90s with novels like Snow Crash and Ready Player One. And I love this quote from Matthew Ball, the futurist, who kind of sums up the vision of what the metaverse is supposed to be. The metaverse is a massively scaled and interoperable network of real-time rendered 3D virtual worlds, which can be experienced synchronously and persistently by an unlimited number of users. That's amazing. It sounds really cool, but it does not exist yet. We're a good 10 years out from that. So what do we have now? I would say we don't have the metaverse right now, but what we do have is UGC gaming. And what is UGC gaming? It's social gaming platforms where you can build, share, and play, and it's all community first. It's the democratization of media, just like the DIY Web 2 revolution, where people could, market or could make and share video content. It's just like that, but it's for gaming. And the top platforms that have the biggest numbers are Roblox and Fortnite, and all these other amazing platforms, and growing. So how can brands activate today? Taking a focus on Roblox. There's 4 ways from a high level. You can do traditional ads, like you see in the top left, where you create video billboards, and you can run those inside of other games, like the real world. But you can go deeper into engagement. So if you look at the next thing, like a UGC drop, you can create wearables that are branded and put them in marketplaces. Avatars purchase those and wear those throughout their experiences. The third example is bottom left, is an integration where a brand can go into a pre-existing game that has a lot of concurrent users and just show up there and kind of take advantage of those eyeballs and kind of integrate into that game type. And then the last example is bottom right. It's an owned experience where the brand will physically just build a virtual space and own it for that brand and create whatever they want inside of it, and drive users to that. So this is kind of like the lowest lift to highest lift. And here's 5 best practices that really work from our experience. Community, you have to show up authentically, because this is not something where essentially users are opting in to connect with your brand. And so when you do that, you have to take the community in mind. You can't just say, this is my shiny object that looks so great. What do you think? They won't even look at it. You have to figure out how to show up and speak their language. Gamification. You need to leverage platform trends. These users are used to doing certain behaviors and hanging out with their friends and experiencing these places. And there's a level of gamification they engage in And that's a behavior that they anticipate and they require. So if you don't have any gamification, you won't get the engagement you need. So you have to understand what works on the platform, and you have to mimic some of those trends. Awareness, you have to market the marketing. And this is something that a lot of marketers don't like, because they say, look, I just wrote you a check to make this amazing thing and it's here. Great. But now I have to make marketing materials for the thing and then drive the people to the thing. So it's tricky, but you have to be thinking like that. So I always split budgets up with production and marketing for the whole virtual piece. The next thing is like adding real value. The way I see this is these aren't immersive ads that are in your face. These are, like I said earlier, immersive ads that people are opting to go into. They're choosing to join. So when they do that, you have to give them something of value back, whether that is in the form of entertainment, free digital wearables, maybe like coupon codes for free discounted things in the real world. But you trade this deep engagement for rewards. And I would argue that type of marketing and advertising is so additive to people's lives that it's valuable. And another thing is iteration. Test, learn, improve, repeat. Unlike a lot of traditional marketing where it's a one and done, it's the asset's created and then it's pushed through media, you don't have a chance to go back. With these persistent worlds, these ongoing software experiences, you can easily learn, on day one, you read the comments, get the feedback. Hey, I don't like this thing. This thing is confusing. So you have to jump in, you have to correct that work and then re-upload, and then you'll see that improved impact. So I think that's new for marketers of like how to like always be massaging an active campaign. So let's look at some past hits by vertical. Starting with entertainment. A project that we made recently that I'm super proud of is the Beetlejuice Escape the Afterlife experience on Roblox. And Tracey, who's on this call with us, was the producer. You'll meet her in a bit as she walks us through the brand office. But she produced this amazing project. This came out to promote the new film just about 3 weeks before the film dropped. And just in those 3 weeks and 3 weeks after the release, it got 25 million visits. We were the first to connect Fandango and IRL ticket sales inside this experience on Roblox. And we saw an 11% increase in the intent to watch the film by all of those people that were in that experience. And that had a direct impact on how the film performed and getting people into the theaters. And yet just yesterday, we found out that we got shortlisted for a Clio for this project. So super exciting. Next, Kung Fu Panda also got shortlisted for a Clio, also produced by Tracey. This one, 17 million visits within a month, gave away 1 million free emotes to players, and we got 13 million impressions across all social. That's one thing that's really interesting. When you build something on Roblox, not only do you get all the engagement on the Roblox platform, but you get all this earned media because all of these kids record videos of the games and then they upload that on social. So that's where that 13 million impressions on social comes from. So let's jump into fashion really quick. This is a project I'm really proud of. We did for Tommy Hilfiger, Tommy Play. We did the world's first live stream into Roblox. So there was a fashion show a couple years ago at New York Fashion Week that Tommy Hilfiger did. And what we did is we took that live stream and we piped it into Roblox. And then we modeled all of these avatars in the same clothing that the runway models were wearing in New York. And we made a virtual fashion show that had the live fashion show all happening at the same time. It was a trip. It was really successful and loved doing that. Another project I would highlight is Adidas. They had a lot of success on Roblox. Sawhorse didn't produce this. I'll give credit to Dubbit, one of our competitors. They built it. But they have the record for selling the highest selling UGC item ever. They also made digital twin limited shell toe sneakers, and they made one of ones. So like it was a very pretty awesome project. Moving on to beauty, we could talk about Fenty, which is a project that we built. It won a Webby earlier this year. This is unique because players got to create their own gloss bomb, which is a lipstick. And what they did is you can customize what it looks like, what the name was, what the packaging looked like, and Rihanna got to judge all of them, and she selected one winner. And then we made that they manufactured it in the real world and sold it at Sephora based on the design that they got from a user on Roblox. Another beauty vertical project worth mentioning is Elf, made by our competitors Super Social. They have a ton of success on Roblox, and they're showing up in a persistent way, so they continue to evolve their game on the platform, and it's doing really well. Music. One massive project was Blackpink. When they came to the Roblox platform, they got over 84 million visits, 20 million views on TikTok, just a massive campaign created by our competitors Carta, who are friends of ours. And then one that I'm really proud of is the Elton John Roblox concert on Roblox that we did. This won a Telly. And we also got to work with Elton, and his final show at Dodger Stadium here in LA. We got to create concert visuals, and all of the Roblox users got to do a photo booth of posing their avatars in Elton John gear, and then we got to put them up on the stage. And I was there. I got to see it in person, and it was just fantastic. Jumping over to retail. Walmart, one of our clients as well. This project is a persistent experience. It's been ongoing for over a year now. We update it every single month. We've curated a massive following. It's a community-first project. We've had a lot of success with this, and we have a Discord attached to it with 72,000 members. So it's one of the biggest branded Discords on the platform. We also were the company to first introduce e-com. So we sell real world items inside this experience, and they come with digital twins. And this is a trend that the Roblox platform is moving in with e-com, and they're going to bring it to scale with Shopify early next year. So that should be an exciting addition. And this won an Addy as well as several other awards. Another retail one worth mentioning is IKEA by the gang. This had an amazing marketing campaign. They also paid Roblox players to work inside the virtual IKEA. So it was a very awesome project. Automotive, Lamborghini, one of our clients, we brought them to the platform, and we did this in a unique way because not only did we build a world for them, but we also took some of the vehicles that users love, and we licensed those vehicles into the top games on the platform. So users could just, go to the game they want to go and also receive and get that Lamborghini branding and advertisement without having to come into our custom world. Sports, AO Adventure, done by the gang, has seen a lot of success and continues to grow. Also, the NHL has showed up in a major way. So let's just quickly talk about measuring success and KPIs. What does good look like? Obviously, first, headlines are great. We're still in that phase where this is new immersive marketing that's buzzworthy and people are curious. So if you do something good and it has a layer of innovation, you're going to get written about, which is great. Another metric we look at is visits. So how many people actually went to the thing during that time? Approval rating. This is voted up or down by the users. And so basically a high approval rating is good, low is bad. Dwell time, how much time are the users spending? If everyone is spending 20 seconds in there, that's not great. They basically spawned in, they said, what is this? And they got out of there. You really want it to get it. The benchmark on the platform for branded experiences is around 10 minutes. So that's a good mark. If you could be near there, you're seeing success. And then the last goal is monetization. You can sell stuff and monetize your experiences. Not every brand wants to. For example, some of our film projects we can't because of royalties. We like can't, that's not a goal, but it is possible to do on the platform. And so why should brands be doing this? And there's two reasons, in my opinion. One is future-proof your brand. You have to stay relevant to younger audiences. And the second thing that's more important, I think, is just get deeper engagement with those users, like connect with them in a much deeper way when you market to them, so that they actually understand your brand, they understand the message. You get that brand love, that affinity. Like, it's just so much more valuable than scrolling and going past like a TikTok ad that you don't pay attention to. And getting almost to the end here, just want to touch on why Sawhorse is unique. We understand brands. We've been doing this for 13 years. We understand how to speak to brands and tell their stories and give them the white glove service. The second thing is cinematic fidelity. We're filmmakers. Half of our teams come from the film industry. They go into Roblox and these platforms. They work with lighting. They work with composition. And we make stuff that looks really cinematic. Next is innovation. Like I was pointing out earlier, we love to be the first step things, first live streaming, first e-com. We always hear about different tech and we try to implement it as quickly as possible, push the envelope, do world first. And on platforms like this, you have the opportunity to do that. Next is we're storytellers. We're filmmakers at heart. We don't look at these purely as games. We're looking at these as experiences, immersive marketing, like journeys, not just gamified games. And final thing is just that we are a 360 solution. So we do everything from strategy, ideation, execution, marketing, the entire campaign in one roof. And we've got a lot of notoriety. People are taking notice, and that's just been very inspiring. And the final thought: marketing does not have to suck. Let's make it fun, cool, and add real value. So let's build. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, Nick. That was amazing. Oh my gosh, I need to you have to come in immediately and talk to my students, like all of them. There, that was so impressive and just so well put together. Thank you so much for taking the time to put that deck together. While we're taking questions and continuing the conversation, let's jump in. So one of the questions I always have that come up when I see these things is B2B. Talk to me about what's happening in Roblox on B2B. And we have this B2B experience that we actually are going to visit today. So Nick, maybe while I'm getting this set up, do you want to chat a little bit about your thoughts on B2B and in the non-metaverse? I'd love to hear what's happening.
Sorry, so B2B in the non-metaverse meaning?
No, like meaning the aspirational metaverse. I agree, the metaverse doesn't exist yet, but I mean,
Oh,
so
yeah.
B2B in these immersive spaces, like what are you
Yes.
seeing? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just an amazing place for people to market because you can reach these new audiences. And a lot of brands want to do it, but it's so new that they have a hard time, committing or even understanding like what type of like commitment they should have in these spaces. So the real challenge right now is to figure out what the actual value is and how do we quantify that and how do we benchmark it across other platforms that they're comfortable marketing on, and then we can start to make it easier for them to show up, because that's the challenge. Like Beetlejuice, 25 million visits, what is that worth from a value standpoint? It's difficult. We all know it's very valuable. I just don't know how to quantify it or how to cost that out necessarily. And so I know Nielsen is doing these studies about immersive platforms like Roblox and Fortnite, and that's something that is I think we're going to see a lot of growth in that space this coming year, and that will help us and help marketers get in.
Love it. Anyone have any questions while I'm getting so the link to the server, the private server that they set up for us to explore is in the chat section. So go and find that link if you want to join us in Roblox. I'm getting my my thing set up right now. I'm multitasking. It's asking me to put in.
I'm not seeing any questions in
No
chat,
questions.
but that seems wrong to me. Derek,
Nathan, you
your
come up with a
camera's on, you're
question.
smiling.
How
Well,
about
I
that?
had the opportunity. I just talked with Nick on the Glow Up like a week ago, so I got to go deep on all of this. So I'm holding my tongue. Um,
Nice. All
Derek,
right.
did you
Well,
have a question? Or am I just putting you on the spot?
No, I'm just smiling.
so this is what I'm showing. This doesn't look
You're
right.
missing the rest of the building.
I'm really
Yeah,
missing
it
the
looks
rest of
like
the
it didn't
building.
load.
Did you?
Can you try to refresh?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's refresh it.
While you're doing that, I could hop in.
Yes,
Jump in
please,
real
Tracy,
quickly.
I'd love that.
Yeah, just to like give you guys a little bit of background as to how this experience was built. And I'm gonna keep my camera off just for performance issues. I know that Zoom could be a little bit laggy, especially when you're sharing a live stream. So I'm Tracy. Nick mentioned I'm one of the interactive producers over at Sawhorse, and really excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I work with clients and brands to tailor their immersive campaigns, mostly on Roblox, to hit their KPIs and find authentic ways to connect with new audiences. And some of these clients includes Roblox themselves, and hence this is why we're going through the brand's experience. So the brand's experience is an intro for brands and IP holders as an immersive way to discover and activate on the platform. They took a page out of their own playbook and built their own experience. They realized that often like brands were asking them to take them through and walk them through the platform, which is how this experience pretty much came to life. Increased ad spend for gaming is also one of the reasons, because as we know, and Nick mentioned this in his presentation, that it's really hard to reach new generations such as Gen Z. They've broken that marketing funnel. So now you really have to be a little bit more creative with your marketing strategies and show up where they are and where they're spending most of their time. Why pay for an average of, if I'm not mistaken, I think the last I heard was about 2 seconds for, or under 2 seconds for TikTok and or Instagram, when you can have minutes of engagement on platforms such as Roblox, where they have 80 million DAUs, which are daily average users. All right, so we're in the lobby. It looks beautiful. Let's hit up some of the main spaces within this experience. There are different ad rooms, and again, this is set up sort of like a museum. So we walk into different rooms to see all the marketing capabilities on the platform. There are also immersive case studies, a podcast lounge, a quiz to test your marketing knowledge of the platform, as well as an Easter egg, which is our presentation point. So if at any moment anyone has any questions, and if you're in the experience with us, just holler, shout it out, and we can take a tour together.
Yeah, I
And
love it. And Tracy is the chicken, and I'm the green lady. So you know who we are.
all right,
I've
let's
got
actually
my all my swag on. Got all the digital
first.
swag. Let's see. Oh no, I told her I'd follow her, and I've already lost her. This is what happens. It's like, oh shit, where did you where did you go?
I'm at the window.
You're at the Vista window.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. This way. Okay, got it. There we go. There we go. There we go.
Okay,
Fun.
so I wanted to take you guys here to show you that some of these worlds actually exist on the platform right now. And this is basically a wide vista to show the endless possibilities on the platform. You can create whatever you want. This is a version or a light version of the metaverse, right? Like we're not bound or constrained to the laws of physics. So when it comes to creating an immersive space, it can really be whatever you want. All right, now let's run into the experience.
Nick, I love your avatar. That's very special.
Yeah, you can get as crazy as you want with avatars. It's
You
so
sure
fun.
can. It is fun. You can spend a lot of money too.
That's true.
Oh, that's Nick.
All right, so we are in the atrium, and what we wanted to do is make this area feel like super lively, as if you got out of a conference and are, meeting up with people and seeing people activated, and it feels engaging. So we have a ton of NPCs running around, and if you go to the right, we can go to the first ad room,
Yeah.
and this is an example of their image ads.
Nice.
And this is what we're calling the Gen Z room. So we wanted to make it feel super young. There's like a bit of graffiti influence. It's a little cartoony. We wanted brands and IP holders to envision what their ads would look like within different spaces. So again, tailoring this to more maybe like fashion brands or IP holders that target a younger audience, and seeing what a still image ad would look like in that space. All right.
Nick, I can't sit down. How are you sitting
Oh, you
down?
just walk over near it and you automatically.
There we go. See this, we need to get the pro tips. I mean, this is the thing. So we don't look like a newbie. I love it.
I feel like this is your reel. I know your background is filmmaking, and this feels like a reel, basically. It's awesome.
Oh yeah. This is so fun to make and hopefully helpful to different marketing teams and brands who like want to understand how to market,
All right, let's move
How
on
do
to
okay, now how do I get up?
Jump
jump.
space bar.
Oh, there we go. Okay,
There you go.
beautiful. See, I would be lost without you. This is why we have you. One of the reasons. I love it.
Well, we're happy to be here. This is awesome.
It's
Let's
so
try to keep
fun.
up. We got to keep up with Tracy. She's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
on
yeah.
one right now.
It's good. It's good. I love it. I love it. God, this reminds me of seriously Second Life, man. It just takes me back.
Yeah.
I followed so many avatars in Second Life. Jesus,
That's awesome.
I became a good follower.
I really appreciate that there are like NPCs around just to make it feel
It's such an,
fun.
can we talk about that for a minute? Because I feel like I have mixed feelings about it. And, and just so get everyone up to speed, NPC, non-playing character is,
Like
it,
these people.
makes I'm sorry, I'm getting some feedback from someone. But anyway, it makes it, definitely brings a space to life. I was actually thinking about this in the middle of the night last night, though, but you can't really engage with them. And I was because they're bots and for all intent and purposes, right? I don't know. Like, how does everyone feel about this? I was thinking to make it better, it would be really cool, I guess, if you could engage with them in some way. But then I know is that duplicitous because it makes it feel like maybe there are people behind. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just an interesting question, right?
I would
Yeah.
rather have people running around the atrium than a text panel and an arrow that says go to your left to see a video.
Yeah,
I think
you
it's a
like
great way to onboard in a natural way.
well, Gucci, they had an experience, and I think they did a very good job. It makes you feel like you're surrounded by people, even though you're not.
Yeah, I
'Cause-
think if you build these environments and there's no people around, whether they're, real avatars or if they're NPCs, it looks like a ghost town and it just looks wrong.
It's only
So I feel
Tracey.
like you need to work some in, but I will say that like in the future, there's going to be a lot more AI and like real time, AI that's really engaging.
Yeah,
So sometimes might not even know if you're talking to a real person or an AI, and we'll
yeah,
be able to roll that out at scale. So
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
coming.
Exactly. I mean, it's kind of already here. There's several AI driven, you know, virtual influencers, if you will, that are completely run by AI, to your point. So, do you think brands would be scared? Like, are brands kind of scared to do that right now? Because they can go off the rails, you know?
Yes, it definitely. This is new, so it hasn't really been tested, and it's not that brand safe. So we
Yeah,
do have to.
yeah,
It's not
exactly.
ready yet to start rolling it out at scale.
Yeah. Okay, let's get to some of the other stuff, Tracy. I want to show them the quiz and such because and the case studies. They're cool.
Yeah. One thing I do want to mention about the
Yeah,
video ads, it's
yeah,
Roblox also made it so that if you are a marketer and you are creating assets, you can see your ads live within that same exact room without anyone else having visibility to it. So if you want to see what one of your campaigns would look like before it launches, they made that available.
love it.
And this room, we were thinking it would be more geared towards an entertainment IP holder or brand. So as you can see, it's lively. It feels like a club. You have a ton of NPCs breakdancing in the background, and this is a portal ad. So what this is, you have a static image on the top, and then a portal door that you can walk through. Don't walk through it because then you'll be lost forever. That takes you to a partner's experience or your own branded experience. So it's a really good way to put this in other experiences, other games, and have them join your experience and or drive traffic to your experience. So this is another great marketing tool.
Yeah.
All right.
My gosh, I built one of these. I built one of these for Second Life. Guy, maybe I can claim that I was one of the first ones to do it. I'm gonna say that I was. It was like
Uh,
2006. And it was an amazing project. It was super fun, but going in there, but to like, and trying to get something that spoke kind of natively to the folks that were on that platform and to bring, provide value instead of just a big billboard ad, which is really kind of was what people were doing back then. Oh my God. Okay, so where are we going now?
All right, so we're standing in front of the immersive case study doors, and what these are was we were trying to figure out a way to bring a case study to life. So instead of seeing a deck where you're flipping through pages and looking at stats, it's like, how do we take these incredible experiences and have viewers feel like they're walking through the experience and seeing the stats kind of come to life? So, Lisa, since you're sharing, do you want to walk through maybe Kung Fu Panda?
Sure. I'd love to. I filmed Adidas and put that on LinkedIn, so folks have probably
Nice.
seen the Adidas one. Let's do Kung Fu Panda.
Sweet.
Okay, while this is loading, I'm super stoked to hear about like how you put some of the high level branded content, not just in the branded game, but in the higher performing games that already had cars. We always talk as marketers about meeting people on the channel of choice that they're in. And like for a lot of this audience, Roblox is the channel. But even within that greater ecosystem, there are games of choice within it. And so not tying yourself to like my own solely branded experience, but making sure that you can reach people with your branded stuff where they are,
Amazing.
uh, was a really cool part of the talk that I was
This is
wanting
gorgeous.
to.
Jesus fucking Christ. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
So what you're seeing here are parts of the experience that was a limited time. It wasn't persistent,
Oh my
and it was
God.
a way to draw attention and drive new fans to see the film in theaters. So as you can see, you're seeing the stats pop up, the KPIs that are coming up. I don't know if we already passed, but there was a 13% lift in there it is in theater intent, which is huge. The client was really excited about that, and yeah, so this is literally taking you through different parts of the experience, and at
Wow.
the end, you see the trailer that was used for the game page and used also throughout social marketing, whether that was on YouTube, TikTok, and or Instagram.
Stunning. Absolutely stunning. Tracey, I know we've got some grad students on the call. Would you mind talking a little bit about the talent that it takes to create something like this, the roles that are out there, kind of
Right.
where are some needed skills?
We don't have to
I,
walk
I
far.
I
Yeah.
look at this and I start drooling
Yeah.
and I start thinking about, oh my God, I would like give my right arm to work on projects like this. So, talk to me about that piece, if you will.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we work with a lot of artists that have diverse backgrounds. Some have worked in corporate for companies such as Disney, and we have some who are self-taught and taught themselves Blender and or know how to code and are our lead engineers. But most importantly for us in building on platforms such as Roblox is really making sure that we tap in community members that are on the platform
Oh
and
yeah.
have the platform
All
ahead of
right.
time.
Where you want to go?
Making sure that we show up authentically and we're not just an outside agency building what we think would perform well. Like we actually have Roblox natives that have been on the platform for over a decade, sharing their knowledge with us and letting us know what would be successful on the platform. In terms of starting out, I say test and learn, test everything. Any new AI tool that comes out, play around with it, tinker with it, use all these tools to enhance your skill set, and yeah, keep trying.
Do you actually have the kind of the if just the folks that have been on Roblox and kind of playing and maybe that's how they started. Do you have those folks building for you, Tracy?
Absolutely.
You do.
Yes,
Wow.
1000%.
That's amazing. Well, again, it just harkens back to the days of Second Life. I hate to keep making the comparison, but I will. But I that was my skill that I brought to the table. I went and connected with the most amazing builders, and I was constantly on the hunt to find, the Sims that looked amazing. And then I would go and, back then they were taking Linden dollars, which was like pennies on the dollar, right? So you could literally get a space, beautiful space. I had a beautiful Italian marble, huge office space built in Second Life for like $5. But this was 2006, it was just a different time. But that was that was the smart thing to do then, and it's obviously the smart thing to do now. So I just think that's just awesome.
Yeah, it is super
Nisa,
awesome.
one of the things that
Sorry,
Nick,
I
yeah,
just have to jump.
Yeah,
I
jump
have to
in.
jump. I have to jump to another call, unfortunately.
Oh,
I have a hard out, but you're in
yes.
good hands with Tracy, and I just want to thank everyone for having me on, and I had a really fantastic time. So thank you.
Thanks, Nick, so much. I want to please let's connect later. There's an on-demand version of this. I would love to connect with you about how we can have a more robust partnership with between us and UO and you, and we'll chat about it. So thank you so much for being
I
here.
love
This has
it.
been amazing.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thanks. You too, Nick. All
All
right,
right, so
Tracy, go. Yes, please.
we can wrap this up pretty
Yep.
quickly. But what you're seeing right now in front of your screen is the Roblox Quiz Challenge, and we saw this as a fun way to gamify understanding Roblox and learning about it through a quiz challenge that is pretty fun. So you're going to see a bunch of questions on your screen, and you have to walk up to the right answer. Don't get the correct answer, you fall through the tile. So it's pretty fun, and it's a great way again to learn a little bit more about the platform, and also have it a little bit more engaging, where you're learning how to walk and use your avatar as well.
Yeah, I love
If you
it.
want to
So,
exit,
so much more fun to do this than to read some boring old one-sheeter.
exactly, or to take an online quiz. Like this is so much more interesting than just a
So
flat.
much more interesting. And, I have to say the retention is much better. Like I remember this, I'm remembering all this is, much instant recall. It's so much easier to remember when you learn this way.
Exactly. All right, so this is quite long. If you want to quickly exit on the
Yeah,
right,
yeah. Okay, I'll do one more. It's like once I get going, I can't stop, but okay.
you know, it's hard.
Anyway, you get to the end, everybody, and then you get like a fun celebration screen. All right, I'll leave. I'm leaving. Leaving, bye. You said there was an Easter egg.
there there is an Easter egg.
Are you going to
So
share that with our group?
over to the side, that is our podcast lounge, where you can
Podcast
listen
line.
to the latest podcasts
Yeah, I love
that are
that.
available from Roblox. You can also listen to any live streaming podcast app that you listen to as well, but you can do it on Roblox, no matter where you listen to it, than on this platform. So if you click
Amazing.
on the two on the right hand side, you see that there's two people in a square. It's the last icon on the bottom right.
Yes.
Let's click on that.
Oh,
So we were so in love with the Vista Point, and Roblox wanted to create a meeting space. So this takes you
oh,
out into the Vista, which it was the window that we were looking out right at the beginning. And it's a place for them to hold meetings with clients, with IP holders, with those that are interested,
wow.
also with themselves and each other. And they can take control of the screen. They can share decks. They can show slideshows. They can show videos, and they can also use voice. So they're also tapping into this as a new way to hold meetings, not on Zoom, not on Google Meets, but doing it on the platform and using it in a very informative, engaging
Oh,
way.
I love that. I love it. That's amazing, Tracy.
Yeah, this is really fun. So this is just phase one. There's so much more that the platform offers, and if you're following Roblox at all, they have integrations, they have UGC, they have emotes, they have real world commerce, which Nick mentioned that we were doing with Walmart, and they announced a Shopify integration as well. So there's definitely more to come as the platform evolves. This space will evolve too.
Awesome. Are you going to make us all search for the Easter egg?
No, this was the Easter egg.
Oh,
I mean, it doesn't seem like an Easter egg because there's an icon, but if you go into the
uh,
navigated mode where we take your avatar along this journey so that you don't have to walk around, because oftentimes too, brands don't like going onto the platform because they don't know how to move in 3D spaces.
yeah,
So we
yeah.
also built this world on rail. If you want to just have your avatar flown from space to space, you can do that. But the meeting room, this Vista Point, is not included.
Well, this is beautiful. I do have a question, and then I'm going to open it up for questions from everybody. I know that Roblox has been bringing in AI tools for content creators. Tracy, how robust are those tools today? And is it, is it getting easier and easier to create this 3D content?
I unfortunately cannot answer that. I can find out though and get back to you, but I do not have the answer to that. I'm so sorry.
No, no worries at all. You have some traditional builders or whatever it is, but the reason I ask is my hopes and dreams are that someday with AI I can build something like that by myself. We're probably a far way away from doing that, but who knows? We're at time, and I noticed that we've got the few diehards that are able to still be here. Tracy, thank you so much, and Joseph too. Thank you so much for being here today. I'll get the on-demand version of this out, and then I can provide you all with the file so you can edit it, cut it down, make shorts, whatever you want to do with it. And I'm so appreciative that you were both here. So, anyone else have anything? Anyone want to introduce themselves? After party time, if you want to chat and introduce yourself or have any questions, we have another I can stay on.
I felt like the presentations were so solid that I was left without questions. And I usually, try to ask.
Claire normally has a lot of questions.
I know, like after, especially that PowerPoint, I was just like, all my answers have been, all my questions have been answered. I really liked the idea of like, how do we interpret these metrics? Because we can like collect all these metrics now. It's cool to hear that Nielsen is putting something together because it's like, you can just have these epic numbers like that deck is, but if people don't, kind of know how to value those, there's not much to do with them.
Yes. I feel like everyone's slowly dropping. We're going to be the only ones. We'll be the only ones left. Well, thanks.
You.
Yeah, good to see you, Claire. Good to see you, Matt. Thank you again, Joseph. Thanks, Anita. I have an amazing Friday, and I'll get the recording out next week, early next week, so you can look for it. And then we've got our next pub crawl next month. So see everybody later.
Can I talk to you for a sec, Lisa?
Sure. Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Oh.
I'm going to stop.